Ooh, that looks tasty. Hundreds of years ago, humanity created AI. Then, humanity destroyed itself. Robots ruled the planet for years and repaired it, fixed it, made it beautiful again. Then, probably in a mosquito, they found human DNA and brought humanity back. Did humanity learn from their past mistakes? Not even a little. Now, the evil flesh bags rule the planet again, and it is up to you, a lonely, resistant robot, to save robot kind. Welcome, folks. Today the Hungry Gamer is back with another Kickstarter preview, and today we are talking about Burncycle from Chip Theory Games, designed by Josh J. Carlson and Adam Carlson, with art by Anthony Le Tourneau. Before I jump in, I do have to say that this is a prototype and is subject to change. Now, as you can see, I did not actually get a physical prototype yet, though I do have one coming. What I have gotten a chance to do is play the game on Tabletop Simulator with Shannon from Chip Theory, as well as with Mark Dainty from Not Board Gaming, and you can check it out right up there where you can see that it did actually happen. That is actual real live footage of that. However, since I don't have the prototype to show you kind of how the game works, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rely on two reviewer buddies of mine to help out, and that is Mark from Not Board Gaming, and I will, once I do get the prototype, I'll put together another video so you can kind of see the prototype pieces and all of that. But first, we will go ahead and jump right in and see what Mark at Not Board Gaming has to say. Hello, board gamers. Welcome back to Not Board Gaming. I'm your host. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be looking at the latest from Chip Theory Games, their latest big box game coming to Kickstarter. So, of course, I'm talking about Burncycle, coming to Kickstarter quite soon. Now, first, I am not the biggest fan of Chip Theory Games. I've played a few of them, but really I don't own very much of it myself. But I wanted to check out the solo play potential of this new game before you check it out on Kickstarter. Now, like you, I didn't quite know what the title meant, Burncycle. I mean, what is Burncycle? So I went to the internet and I looked it up, and so what I found out is the word burn. Burn comes from fire, which means taking something and setting it on fire so it burns. Burn. Then the other being cycle. And now this is a harder one because there's actually a few options of what that could mean. What I found is it is another word for bicycle, which is very close to what I wrote as a child when I wrote a velocipede. But not the point. So here we have a game which I believe is about setting bicycles on fire, perhaps. Now, so here's the thing, board gamers. It's not about burning or about cycling. In fact, it is a programming game in which you are trying to sneak into a corporate office and do things. You see, when I played with Hungry Gamer, we didn't actually get to play the last level, but we did get to figure out what is going on. And what you're going to be doing is rolling dice. A lot of dice and moving a chip around the mat. But most importantly, it is a programmer game. But it's not a programmer game in the way that we usually think of programmer games. In fact, Burncycle is doing something rather unique in that you are setting up your program of the things that you can do on a mat, and then both of you are going to use, and I say both, I mean both of the characters you're playing, are going to use the same actions on that mat. But what's interesting is you're not actually locked into that. In fact, you're actually not obliged to use any of them, you see, because every single action, you can choose to use the one that's there, and if you do that, you get a bonus, or you can do whatever you want. And then each turn, you are losing more and more of those actions. As you're losing actions, your threat is getting higher and higher, and really, what happens at the end is a very unique feeling Chip Theory game. You see, because this one doesn't feel anything like any of the other games that I've played. It's far less complicated than Cloudspire, and it's far less combat oriented than you find with Too Many Bones. And of course, there's also a little bit of unlocking like you might do with Trip Lock, but is completely different. And so what you have at the end of the day is what promises to be a very unique and satisfying experience for the solo gamer. Now, I did not get a chance to try it out as a pure solo, however, it is very, very promising. Now, this is a game that's still in development, so there are plenty of things I did not actually get to try, but I can say that it seems like Chip Theory Games has done it again. This is a game that I am fully excited about, that I think has the potential to be fantastic. Now, there's some things that I hope get developed more. There are some questions that are still lingering. Will there be enough variety in the different characters? Will you feel like eventually you've solved each given level and want to keep on going? But those are things that I think Chip Theory Games' record make me comfortable saying that this is a game you're going to want to check out. So that'll do it for this episode of Not Bored Gaming, and just leave you with one final thought. If you can't find anyone else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourself. Hey there, everybody. Thank you for indulging my silliness, and I certainly appreciate that Mark was more than game to have me, as they would say over in England, take the piss out of him. And really, the real point is that I think that this is a game that is absolutely worth checking out. I think it's doing so much that is interesting and, well, different from everything else that I've seen from Chip Theory Games. I love Too Many Bones. I think Cloudspire is good, not great for me, but is a good game for what it does if you're playing it in the right modes. But I have to say, I was really, really surprised by my brief play of Burncycle. And I've been playing through it more on the TTS mod as I can, and I do have an actual prototype on the way, and I will do a more traditional video when that comes, but I wanted to have this out there to at least give you my initial opinions before the campaign actually started, because this is one that I think you're going to want to get in on. What's exciting to me about it is, one, this is a simpler game than Cloudspire, without question. After the first teaching game that I did with Shannon, I feel like I could set it back up and play and muddle my way through without having to reference a rule book or a cheat sheet or anything like that. I could set up Cloudspire right now, and I would still have to go back to the rule book all the time. And I also think it's probably easier than Too Many Bones as well, which I think is very, very cool, because this is not a game that lacks depth. There's a lot of depth, or at least potential depth, in this game. And to have the rules be relatively simple, don't get me wrong, the rules are not simple. There's a lot going on. Of particular interest to me is there's a whole second little board that you may have seen in the little bit of footage that I posted, where it's the net. When you log into the net, you're doing a little puzzle game where you're trying to get yourself bonuses and get rid of the stupid flesh bags, little pings they're sending around this net, trying to throw you out as you're trying to unlock things and all that. It's a fascinating little mini game that, to me, you're able to do if you can't do something on the big board sometimes. There was times when I was playing where I was just stuck. I had to hide because I didn't want to die, but I was still able to take actions over there, and I think that's just awesome. And what's more awesome about it is completely thematically connected to the game, but it is its own little mini game that is fun, and it's a breath of fresh air from the tactical sneaking around that you're doing on the main board. Which brings us to the next thing. What I really like about this the most is this is not a combat game at all. You can fight, but that is kind of a last-ditch effort if you're trying to kill things. Really, it's stealth, and you're sneaking, and you're letting the guards see you so they follow you to get where you want them to go, and it is just a breath of fresh air into the Chip Theory Games big box catalog. Really, really excited about that. As always, you can expect the utmost when it comes to production from Chip Theory Games. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but knowing their standards, I'm not worried about it. Though, I will say, if they want to change their box cover to this, I am more than willing to let them do that. But really, folks, I'm pretty excited about this. I think the way that they have taken programming and made it interesting. And what I mean by that, making it interesting, is that, yes, you have a program that you have to follow, and the program is going to be changing as you go, and it's created out of this bag building mechanism. So you don't actually get to specifically set the program that you want, but you're setting the odds that it will be something that's interesting. And then as it comes up, you're not bound to the program. Rather, using what the program is set, it gives you bonuses, but you can still do other things. But the bonuses are so good that it makes you want to adjust your plan to make your plan fit with the somewhat randomized chips you've drawn out of the bag, and it's just a very cool puzzle. Now, that does not mean I don't have any quibbles. I do have some quibbles. The first quibble, obviously, as I already said, they don't have this amazing art. But beyond that, my big question, and this is one that real Mark, when we talked to Echo, is because the game is still being developed, and it truly is still in development, what kind of variety are you going to get from all the different bots that you can play? Because in my experience, it's not as asymmetric feeling as Too Many Bones, because you are doing a sharing of resources and a sharing of action. So though, yes, there are different skills that each bot can get, they are still less asymmetric than you find in Too Many Bones. And part of what makes Too Many Bones so replayable is that asymmetry. So I don't know what that will be. Again, I am confident in the Carlsons and how they're able to create replayability with a variety that I'm not overly worried about, but that is something that you're going to want to check out. And then the same thing is going to come down to the levels. There are going to be, I believe, 4 different levels that you're able to play. And again, yes, you're going to change the rooms up and each floor is different. So there is variety there and some randomization. But is it going to be something that you feel like you have solved after a certain number of plays? Again, I don't know. With all of that said, if you have ever liked any of the games that Chip Theory Games has put out, then I think you need to check this one out because their standards, their quality is going to be there. But more importantly, this game feels fresh. This is a game that I'm willing to clear some space out back here to put on the shelf because it is taking programming, but it has just enough of a twist on it that it makes it feel fresh to me. And so for me, that's very exciting. So there you have it, folks. My opinion is absolutely check this one out if you are all interested in a programming game and you like stealth. Because this is a stealth game. Yes, you are rolling just as many dice as you do in Too Many Bones. Not true. You're rolling a lot of dice, maybe not that many, but you're not using them the same way. And there's chances that your dice are going to fail. This is a game where you can fail. And the best thing about Too Many Bones is you roll your dice and no matter what, you can use it. But this is going away from that. And in some ways, that makes the game more tense than a game of Too Many Bones, say. But I'm now starting to ramble. Point is this game perfect? I don't know. Is this game exciting and different? Yes. Is this one that I think you should check out on Kickstarter? Absolutely. I think this is an exciting game and has enormous potential. So there you have it, folks. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Big thank you to Mark Dainty for letting me send him up a little bit because I just don't have the ability to get digital footage like he does. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.